When it comes to scrying, I don't see a thing. I'm not particularly visual, and so when I do any scrying, whether it's water scrying, mirror scrying, or scrying with a crystal, I don't see anything. And I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there who are the same way. So in this video, I wanted to show you how you can still do scrying, even if you're not particularly visual. And if you are visual, well, you can still watch this video anyway, because the actual process to get yourself in the right frame of mind to scry in the first place is the same. But before I dive into the video, hi, I'm Sandra from MysteryWitchSchool.com. If you're new to the channel and you want to learn more about Wicca and witchcraft, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any videos. And if you're trying to figure out the Wiccan path or the witchcraft path all by yourself and you're just getting too bamboozled by all of the information out there, do take a look at my free video, How to Start Your Witchcraft Practice. It just lets you know the sorts of things you need to know and how you can pace yourself along the way. The information to how you can download that video is in the description field below this video. So when it comes to scrying or any kind of perception from a psychic realm, I'm not particularly visual. A lot of people are. People can see things, some people hear things, some people even taste things. Other people are more sensate, other people are more cognizant. And I am cognizant and I'm also sensate. So when I do any type of scrying, when I started doing scrying, I failed miserably because I was expecting to see stuff in the ball. So this is one of my favorite obsidian balls. I've got a few obsidian balls because obsidian is my favorite gemstone. And it's a really great object to use to do your scrying. You can do scrying with a clear quartz crystal ball. You can do scrying with a scrying mirror, black mirror, and you can also do it in a bowl of water. I have already done a video about scrying with a bowl of water. What I like about using crystals is that you're getting the energy from the crystal as well, and you can connect with the energy of the crystal before you start your scrying. So when I scry, I don't expect to see anything in the ball anymore, because I've learned that even if I'm using a ball or a bowl of water or anything, that tool isn't necessarily going to be what I use to see things in. It's more for me to have something to focus my mind on so that it's not jumping around from tree to tree, thought to thought. So if you're the same, you may find that when you've been scrying, you're not getting anything. Even people who are visual, when they scry, aren't necessarily seeing things actually in the ball or in the mirror. It's not like you've got like a little movie screen in there and you switch on your scrying ability and all of a sudden the stuff's happening and you're watching it like a television. It's not like that at all. Most of the time the images that you're going to see is actually in your mind's eye. It's in your imagination. Sometimes they may just leap out in front of you in a sort of a holographic kind of way, but that's quite rare for most people. Generally, it's images that you'll get in your mind's eye, using your imagination, the same way that you would see things in your imagination if you were thinking about something. That's really what you need to be looking at. What this does is it just helps you focus. The focus point is the most important thing, because in order to scry successfully, you need to be able to put yourself into a slight trance state, and that's not an easy thing to do. So let's begin by going from the beginning of the process of using a crystal ball in this case. If you don't have a ball, you can try it with a bowl of water or a black mirror, whatever you've got. So the first thing you want to do is get yourself in a trance state, and depending on how easy you fall into trance, some people fall into trance easier than others. The more you have fallen into trance in the past, the easier it is to fall into trance. So you need to get yourself out of your beta brainwave state into an alpha brainwave state, and that may take you time. For some people it might take 2 minutes, some people it will take half an hour. It really just depends on the individual. So make sure you're comfortable. In a darkened room preferably, and if you do need some light, make sure it is very, very dim light, like a candlelight, or just having a light on a dimmer so that it's very, very, very dark. The darkness helps with the scrying. It helps put you into a trance state because it helps change your brain chemistry, and it just helps you focus more. And being in the darkness psychologically tends to make us go more deeper into ourselves. It takes our attention away from what's out there around us to what's actually inside us. So you've got your dark room, sitting down comfortably, either on the floor or on a chair. You can have your crystal ball directly in front of you on a table, or you can be holding it in the palm of your hand. And first of all, you just want to do some breathing. So taking 3 deep breaths in, short hold at the top, and then slowly breathing out. You want to make sure the out breath is longer than the in breath, because when the out breath is longer than the in breath, it calms the nervous system down, and your nervous system pretty much needs to be calm in order for you to go into a trance state. You do that about 3 times, or as many times as you need to do, and just become aware then of your body and your connection to the ground underneath you. And when you feel like you're in a calm state, you take your crystal ball, you can pick it up, and I like to just roll it around in the palms of my hand. It stimulates the energy of the ball, I find. It also connects you to the ball as well. And if you're using a mirror or a bowl of water, this part won't be relevant. And just focus on your task. Thinking about the task. And then you can either place your crystal ball back onto the holder or just keep it in the palms of your hand. And then you just want to gaze gently into the ball. Now you're looking through it. So it's like you're trying to see out the other side of the ball. And if you've ever seen any of those 3D pictures where you look at it and there's, animals or something, if you look at it the right way, that's kind of how you need to be looking when you're doing any kind of scrying. It's looking through the object as if you can see the other side. And you have to sit with this for a while when you first start doing it. The gazing at it is going to be what draws you in, and it's going to be what helps you go into trance. So you may have to spend some time with it. So that's why you may want to have your ball on a holder, because these can get quite heavy to be holding in the palms of your hand. And you want to put your mind in a meditative state. Now, if you're coming to scrying, you probably have a question or something you're trying to find out. So focus on what that question is and what it is you're trying to find out, and then just allowing the focus to go through the ball. Now, if you're visual, you may start to see visions in your mind's eye. Just allow them to come through. Don't edit them, don't analyze them, don't have a dialogue with yourself about them. Just allow the images to come in. If you're like me, you may find that you'll come to a point where you'll actually want to close your eyes. Because I find that when I close my eyes is when I can actually really tune into my thoughts. So what I use the ball for really is just to get me into that trance state, into that focus state. The crystal's energy itself is also helping me, particularly obsidian. It's taking me more into my subconscious mind. That's why I like using it, why I like to touch it and hold it. But for me, it's really about packets of thought coming in, sometimes images and sometimes sensations. Experiment with how you receive information. You may get auditory information, which is sort of maybe hearing people speak or say things. If you're visual, you'll see scenes. If you're sensate, you'll get sensations in your body. You may get pressure. You may get heaviness, you may get lightness. If you're cognizant, like me, you will get thoughts and ideas, and you play with it. At first, spend 5 minutes. it's going to be hard for you to concentrate any longer than that. So spend 5 minutes and then take it up to about half an hour to practice. It's not an easy thing to do. Some people are naturally very good at it. Other people have to really struggle and try. You're not necessarily going to be good at it right out of the gate. You may become really good at it through practice. And if you're naturally very good at it and you start scrying, as soon as you pick up a mirror, then that's something that you can develop and utilize in your witchcraft practice. But just because you're not necessarily good at scrying doesn't mean that you're not a good witch. It just means that's not one of your main talents. You've probably got a talent for something else. You can't be a Jack or Jill of all trades when it comes to the craft. It's just not possible. There's too much involved in the craft, too much you need to know, and too many ways that you can work in the craft to be able to be good at absolutely everything. After you've finished your scrying session and you've had a lot of images or thoughts or sensations, then you can go back to them and then go through them and get an idea of how much of it is something that may actually be genuine scrying and perception, and how much of it may have actually just been you projecting your imagination into the situation. Because there's always a balance between our own filter. When we filter information, and we filter what we perceive based on our beliefs about ourselves and the world, our spiritual beliefs, all sorts of things. So when we are channeling or scrying, it's got to go through that filter. So it will color how you perceive the information that you're receiving. Write it all down, and then you can go through and see what might be real from what isn't real. And that's just going to take some time and experience to find out what that actually is. Now, when you've finished your scrying, there really isn't any ceremony to do at the end of it. You just put the ball down and write down what you perceived. At the end of it, you may want to cleanse your ball, cover it up, put it in a bag, just to make it more special. It's really good with your tools to make them sacred, make them special. And by having a special place that you put them, putting them in a bag or covering them up, it just helps keep them sacred so that you can build more of that sacred connection to it. There's so much psychology in the way that we work. I forgot to say at the beginning that when you first start your scrying, you will need to cleanse and consecrate your ball if you've been using it with other people, or you've been using it for other things. It's always a good idea to make sure that it's nice and clean and consecrated before you begin. Let me know in the comments field how you went with your scrying. If you liked the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm Sandra from mysterywitchschool.com. Blessed be.